to the Carmen Sense Realty Show.
A common sense approach to real estate.
I'm Kurt Boomer Schenk from The Right Creative with the star and RE/MAX Hall of Famer, Carmen Lonardo.
Here I am.
There you are.
Hi, Kurt. How you doing?
Good. Carmen,
Long
how are
time.
you?
Long time.
It's been a while since we've been in studio. So
Yep.
with this whole COVID thing.
Well, the last show we did was on the COVID eruption that happened all of a sudden.
Yeah, and we're kind of branch off of that topic today with pandemic perils of on residential lending. And soon we'll get to our guests. But before we do that, let's talk about where people can find you at RE/MAX.
Yeah. Best place is to reach me by cell phone, and that's 233-4119, or my Facebook page, or Twitter, On the Move Realty. That's it. On the Move Realty, yeah.
That works. Well, what's going on with real estate?
Well, two things. Not an awful lot. And surprisingly, some business has been occurring. Overall, I brought some numbers with me today, so I'm not just making them up as we go, but these are pre-pandemic shutdown numbers. So the first quarter, basically, of the year. And in Monroe County, we had a decline of about 12% in homes for sale. And all the numbers are down, homes for sale, pending sales, closings, the whole 9 yards. But at the time, at the end of the first quarter, and this is an important point because there are plenty of people out there talking to the contrary on this, the median sale price was up 8.6%. And we're kind of seeing that across the board, across the nation. So, this was pre-pandemic, and the market was down in terms of inventory and activity, and certainly since the shutdown, it certainly hasn't gotten any better. It's gotten worse. But like I say, we have managed to do some business along the way. We've learned how to do things virtually. And we've had some success with that, which is good. Nationwide, the numbers are similar. This is from Wells Fargo. They are reporting in May the April numbers, 20% decline in pending sales compared to April last year.
Right.
But the median price was up almost 7.5%. And we'll talk a little bit more with our guest about interest rates, but interest rate was average of 3.25%.
Wow, it's still great.
Yeah, good stuff.
Wow.
Yeah.
Why is the median sale price up? What's fueling that?
Well, it's the demand. There's a lot of buyer demand and a limited amount of inventory. So, when the demand is high, the supply is low, the price is high.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. And about the virtual showings, I mean, I know we've discussed it before, but how are you literally physically doing that?
Well, we are when we first started with the shutdown, realtors were not able to go to a property,
right?
Nor were we able to hire anybody to go to a property. And so, if we had some video in the can, we were using that, or sellers often times were taking the videos for us. Unfortunately, due to lack of skill and experience and equipment, those videos weren't the best.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
There's been some clarification and direction along the way, and so now we are able to go and actually take photographs and shoot video and so forth. So we do it that way.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else?
Well, no, I'm excited to get to our guest. We talk a lot about real estate. A few episodes ago, we had some loan officers here with us to talk about the process and particularly funding available for first-time home buyers.
Right.
And today, sort of wanted to take a different approach, a different spin, and sort of look at things, at a higher level and more globally, and perhaps more forward-looking than the nuts and bolts stuff of getting a mortgage. So if you want to introduce our guest, Chris Spaker.
Chris Spaker, President, CNB Mortgage Company. Welcome.
Thank you. Good to be here.
So, fire that first question.
Yeah. Well, what's intriguing is that from the beginning of this, financial services have been deemed to be an essential service, right? So the banks have been open and so forth. And so it may appear as if there has been no impact on that industry, and certainly no impact on the mortgage industry. But we know that's not true. You've had to make some adjustments in some scale along the way. So let's talk about that a little bit.
Sure. Well, right when the pandemic came in, mid-March, it's about when it hit the industry, your industry. We decided as an organization to follow the same rules. We're gonna social distance, and we're going to try to keep our workforce working remotely. At the same time, the Fed dropped the interest rates, which was a real treat for us because our business went through the roof.
Right.
We've never been busier. In fact, the last big refi year was 2012, and we're double that production.
Wow.
Easily. So we're almost 4 times our normal production this time of year. And with 85% of my staff working from home. We had to gear up very quickly and get everybody working remotely with portable equipment, laptops, things like that. We still have 7 or 8 people in the office because we close loans in the office, so we have to be there. But the reality was we had to gear up for it, and we couldn't skip a beat. So we originated $95 million in March.
Oh wow!
Almost 3/4 of that was the last 12 days of the month because we went out the 18th remotely. In April, we originated over $70 million. And this month we'll do over $60 million. So that's just unprecedented volume. Now I don't know how every other lender in the market is doing, but that's our volume. And we are seeing purchase money business. So it's not strictly refinance business, but it's a lot of refi business.
What would you say the split is, refi and purchase money?
I'm gonna say we looked at this in late March, early April. We were about 30% purchase still, about 70% refi. I think that might have ticked up a little bit in April on the refi side. But in the last two weeks or so, we've seen purchase money coming right back into the market. So, there are houses hitting the market. The minute they hit, they sell.
Yeah.
But there is some good purchase money business coming in.
That's great.
Yeah.
I want to get back to when the Fed dropped the rates. There was some talk that perhaps, at the consumer level, interest rates were kept artificially higher just so that there wouldn't be such an onslaught on the banks. There's just so much you can handle, right, in terms of new applications coming in.
I don't think that they were artificially high. I think what happened was mid-March, the rates came down like rock bottom, the lowest they've been. That created a lot of activity, but people don't move as quickly as they should sometimes. So what we saw was a stall when the rates went up by almost a half a percent within a couple of days. But then the market recovered and came right back down. So, anybody that was looking to refinance in March and April probably probably got the interest rate they wanted. And we're still in the low 3s, high 2s sometimes, depending on the product. But I mean, I've been doing this 28 years. I've never seen 30-year money in the high 2s, but it's still there and it's it's available.
Is this going to continue like this for
Well, the old saying, if I had a crystal ball, I don't know. I can't imagine it's going to. I think the Fed dropped the rates to spur some activity, but I don't think they realized that they were going to shut everything down at the same time.
Right.
And then when they did, it just became a big, a big problem for lenders. But it's a problem I don't mind having when it's busy like that.
Right.
The obstacle becomes getting that business through, because rates are only good for a certain period of time.
Right.
And if we're losing interest rates and people are losing their interest rates, they're not going to be happy. So we're trying to, to get that business through the system. You asked if you thought that the rates were artificially high. That has happened in the industry, but not because of that purpose. It's happened because of the deferments and the forbearances had an effect on lenders who purchase loans in what they were going to be seeing in terms of profitability. So they knew that they were going to be losing money on deferments and forbearances. So interest rates, especially like on FHA type loans, went through the roof. I mean, they're extremely expensive right now to get into an FHA loan, but that's because they're trying to recover some of their losses on loans that are currently being serviced. So,
Makes sense. Yeah. Great.
Yep.
The movement has been, I think, in many industries, particularly over the last couple of years, to do things remotely and virtually and online. And, I oftentimes will beef with, any number of loan officers about, directing consumers to a website. It's like, here, you want to get pre-qualified, so, go and, go to this website and put in your information. It kind of loses the personal touch, which I think is kind of important to our business. But, I guess how much of the business was being done, and this is probably not a fair question because, you can't say, well, 10% and 5% and so forth, but, generally speaking, obviously there is more being done remotely now and online. And do you see going forward a return back to, one-on-one with the consumer, or just more pushing it off online?
That's a great question. That's something I was just talking about this morning because, we're kind of in a unique position. We have 48 employees. We work out of about 5,700 square feet, so we're really cramped. And I was thinking about moving later this year, and this whole thing has me rethinking the whole moving concept because I'm watching 40 out of 48 people work from home. They're more productive on the sales side and on the operations side. I really don't think we need to have office space for everybody. I think if somebody's comfortable working from home, then I think we let them work from home. We can monitor them. I've seen in the last 2.5 months, people are more productive working from home. They're working different hours. They're working later in the evening. I see it because I get the emails.
Right.
I know that they're working and the work is getting through. So that to me that's a win-win. I don't have to move, I don't think, right? In terms of the one-on-one with the customer, I still think that's really important in our industry. I think that as an industry on the lending side and your side, the real estate side, I think that a lot of companies are trying to gear up towards, online. I think that's important to be competitive, but I don't think it's important to be of good customer service. So I hope that we get back to some semblance of one-on-one, customer contact. But I can tell you that, the last 2 months with DocuSign, capabilities.
It's awesome.
I mean, that says it all right there. I mean, we weren't on DocuSign up until March 18th. When we went remote, I said, we have to go DocuSign because if we don't, we're going to be one-on-one with customers, and that's what we're trying to avoid, right?
Yeah.
Is the contact. So I think it's changed the way we're going to do business as an industry. You guys have been way ahead of us on DocuSign. You've been using it for years. But in the lending industry, it's relatively new. Some lenders have been using it for a longer period of time, but you still need wet signatures for closings and things like that. But I think as a result of this pandemic, you're going to see that change as well. I really do. I think you're going to see
Yeah. This is going to be the new norm. And, managers like you will look at the bottom line and go, a lot of my people don't have to come to an office. I can downsize the office.
Right.
They're more productive. Everything's getting done. Totally. I see that across the board for just about any industry that employs a lot of people.
Yeah,
So,
but not to belabor the point, but I think that there is a big downside to that, and it's the interface with the customer. I'll be the first one to tell you that having the ability to sit at home and prepare an offer for a piece of property, as opposed to having to leave my home, go to the office, get a form, fill it out, then go over to Kurt's house, have him sign it. I mean, we're talking about potentially a 2-hour process, right? But by the time the consumer calls and says, "Here, I want to put an offer in," and by the time you actually get it to the listing agent. So now I can do that at home in like 15, 20 minutes. So, I mean, it's fantastic, right? We do all kinds of things that way.
Yeah, I agree.
But one of the things, and maybe I'm just one of those nutso people that
you are
would enjoy, sitting at your kitchen table and saying, "Okay, Chris, so here is our offer. This is what it says. This is what you're signing. This is what this page says," and it gives you the ability to, to ask questions, and that really is the service. That's the value that part of the value that we're providing, and I'm afraid that. The more our industry moves away from that, the more we sort of our role kind of becomes preparing a listing for sale, as opposed to walking a client through the process.
I agree with that too. I still think that we're in a people business, and I think it's important to keep that connection. That's why we close half our loans in our office. I mean, I love having the ability to go shake a hand and say thanks for the business. But you got to keep up with the times too. If we weren't geared up for this pandemic, and we really weren't, we just flipped the switch and we did it. We were in business, and we had to stay in business and actually kick it up a notch because the business wasn't stopping. It's different than just consciously saying, okay, I want to change the way I do business. We had to do it this way. I could have never done that volume otherwise, right? And kept up with the customer demand. But I think that people will somehow remember how nice it is to go back and do business with a human being. I'd rather shop in a store sometimes than go online. Sometimes I'd rather go online, depending on what the product is. But people aren't buying cars online; they're buying cars in person. They've got to touch it, and they got to see it. It's the same thing with houses.
Oh, totally. Yeah.
And it's the same thing with a mortgage. A mortgage is a 30-year investment, and it's a 30-year relationship. In many cases. So I hope it doesn't change that drastically. I think it changed because it had to, but I think we could very easily go back to the way things were. But maybe take some of the finer points of the technology and implement those where you need to, but don't lose that human touch factor. I think that's important.
Right. Well, I think we'll see definitely more virtual tours available. With listings, right? And that's not a bad thing,
No, it's a time saver, right?
Yeah.
So
time saver, and plus now, as you said, technology is going to be better, and the cameras are better,
right?
And now people, even out of state people, will get a much better virtual tour than just a slideshow, which was the norm for years, and you still don't get a feel for the house with a slideshow.
Exactly.
But it is like a car. I mean, it's true. You definitely want to test
drive,
test sit it. Would I live here? Would I mind being quarantined for 3 months in this house?
Would you mind being quarantined here? Exactly. But and I say this, and it's everybody gets a chuckle out of it, but you got to smell the place. You know what I mean? I mean, what if there's smokers?
And cats and dogs.
Cats and dogs and whatever else, that may be malodorous. So
it's true.
Big word there, malodorous.
Thank you. That's that Penfield High degree paying off
It's
right there.
paying off right there. I'm
VHS.
pretty sure I did not learn the word melodious.
No, you
in high
didn't.
school.
You didn't.
No,
You just
no,
do your New York Times crossword puzzles. Probably.
That's it.
So,
I'm still working on the one from 1998, as a matter of fact.
all right.
I'm almost through it. So, I want to take a little bit of a break, and because I think that what's going to happen, and again, we try not to date these shows, but how we can't talk about this topic without dating the show. But what's going to happen is at some point, perhaps tomorrow, next week, and if not tomorrow, next week, soon after, there's going to be the second phase of the reopening, right?
Correct.
In our area. And real estate's in that second phase. And I think that we're going to see some people bringing their listings up for sale and really start thinking about selling their homes, discussions, family discussions, and thinking that has been postponed now for a couple of months. And folks will want to get their home on the market relatively quickly. And so where they may have done some things themselves, if they had more time, like painting or cleaning or landscaping or, making repairs here and there, they're going to be searching out for other professionals to do that. And I just want to remind folks that, I've got my list of pros. That I'm happy to share with anybody who likes it. And these are folks that provide all kinds of home services: carpenters, plumbers, HVAC people, and so forth. Home cleaning, window cleaning, washing, all of that stuff.
Yeah, hold that up to the camera.
Can you see it? There it is.
There we go.
Yeah. It's me because it's got my picture
Yep.
on both sides. So if you'd like a copy of this, just send me a text, 233-4119. Happy to send you a copy electronically after we chat. Or if you'd like a hard copy in your mail, I can do that too.
I even think the right creative is on that list.
The right creative is on this list if you would like to
Need some marketing help,
do
let
some
me know.
marketing for your home.
Yep.
Yeah, right, exactly. Okay, great. So moving forward, we know you're super busy with the refi business. Do you think that's going to level off now that the market's going to open up as we anticipate?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, we're already seeing it slow down a little bit in the refi part of it. Like I said, purchase money's picked up a little bit in the last couple of weeks, and I got to think that after 2 to 3 months sitting in your house, I think people are ready to move.
Yeah.
I really do. I think you'll see some more listings, and this is about the time of year when the market really hits pretty strong. So we're going to be a little bit behind, I think, in the market this year, but I'm still pretty hopeful that it's going to be a good year.
The market's going to open up with regard to new listings coming on board, and perhaps some buyers who have been home now feeling comfortable coming out. But there's still going to be somewhat of a delay in the demand, I think, because there's lots of people that still don't have work, right? The unemployment numbers keep going up.
True. Yep.
And there are some folks out there, I'm sure, that must be thinking, heck, I'm working today, but I don't know about tomorrow.
Right.
Right. So maybe I should put off that buying decision for a little bit until this clears up a little longer.
Yeah, I agree with that. We're seeing that on the refinance side too. It's not just a purchase problem. I mean, we're in the purchase money business. You know that, right?
Yeah.
That's what we do. But you take the refis when you can get them. But right now, the unemployment or the employment, I don't like to say unemployment, the employment factor is affecting a lot of refinances too, because people are not back to work, and I can't close a loan if they're not back to work. So we're running into that all the way around. But I think you're right. I think people will probably use their heads a little bit more, maybe after being off for a period of time and on unemployment. But I'm also seeing a lot of people on unemployment making more than they were when they were employed.
Yep.
Right. So
Right. Yeah.
there's that false sense of security as well.
Totally, because that ends in July, and then
Right.
Then what?
You're up Ship's Creek.
Yes.
So, how with the overload, just on a personal basis, how are your loan officers holding up, and your I mean, it's probably a lot of long days and
Yeah,
nights.
it is. And it's all the way around too. The loan officers, it starts with them, but it ends with the operations people. And, the loan officers, they love it because it's money in the bank, right? They love the volumes, but it's a lot of hard work, and it's a lot of hours. And I see from time to time they get a little frazzled, and then they just come right back down and they just get it done. It's not forever. This volume won't last forever, so you take it when you can get it. But on the the operations side, I have underwriters that are working till midnight or later. And they just what's great about the culture of our company is people are willing to do whatever they have to get the deal through, and that's everybody's vested in that deal, and so people are going to be tired and ready for vacation for sure. but if the business is there, we're going to take it and we're going to service it.
How have you dealt with? Have you had to enhance security measures for data being transmitted electronically and
from our customers? So like I said, we just implemented DocuSign, and I'm kind of embarrassed to say that because we're a little behind the times here, but we got it done in time. The DocuSign is a big piece of it. That's very secure. We also use secure email channels for all the documentation that comes in, W-2s, pay stubs, bank statements, stuff like that. So we're a bank-owned mortgage company, so we're as secure as you're going to get. And I think sometimes I feel we're a little too secure, but then again, in this day and age, you can't be too secure. You can never be too safe. So and in terms of employment and employee type security, all the equipment is company owned. So it's set up by our IT department, and it's all secure.
Great.
So
okay, good.
We have no worries there.
It sounds like the employees that are working from home are enjoying that. And
I think so. The ones that have kids at home are not quite enjoying it as much. So you get them coming in once in a while just to blow off some steam. But we're trying to keep we're trying to follow the social distancing standards that have been set by the government, and so we don't let too many people in the office at the same time. But we have plenty of space for that. But the people that are working home love it because they can kind of set their own parameters. As long as they get their work done, I don't care if they work from noon till 8. It just doesn't matter.
Right.
So they like it.
Great.
Yeah.
I know I do. I've worked from home for a long time, and it's nice to be able to set your own schedule.
I just like the proximity of the fridge.
I was going fridge next.
Though, right?
You got to learn how to pace yourself near the fridge.
Yeah.
So,
yep.
But I think we're getting close to wrapping up with Chris. Do you have anything else? Any other?
No,
points?
this has been fantastic, and Chris, thank you for taking time.
Happy to do it. Thanks for.
I know you guys are always busy, so
always busy, but always willing to chat with you.
What's the best way to get in touch with you, Chris?
Well, it's CNB Mortgage 385-2370 is local number.
Okay.
I've got 21 loan officers. I don't originate, but
sure.
But I have 21 loan originators that most people know, and they're easy to find.
Well, I use Marie Coco quite a bit, and her number is on this list here.
Marie Coco, did our loan.
Yeah,
our mortgage.
Yeah, she did.
It's good lady.
It's on here, and so
she's great.
It's 738-8764, and we've got other loan officers on our list here too. So.
Sure.
Not just CNB, but CNB does a fantastic job.
They sure do.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
That's why we like referring business to them. And also, if anybody is interested, this is not Chris's area, but another area that we refer business to when we have some commercial clients is to their commercial lending division, and we have some contacts there as well. So.
Great.
Yeah. So if you're, a business person and you need a commercial loan, give us a call. This is not just, residential stuff.
Great. Well, I think that's a good time or segue to get to the cheesiest part of the show.
Ooh, cheesy.
Yes, it is time for
Carmen Cooks.
So, what's on the plate today?
Well,
Carm?
I thought today would be a good day to talk about lasagna.
I think any day is a good day to talk about lasagna.
And, Chris, you like lasagna?
Love it.
Love lasagna.
Who doesn't?
Who
Yeah.
doesn't love
Yep.
lasagna?
My son.
You know, I'm. Your son doesn't like lasagna?
Oh, he doesn't.
He will.
Wow.
He will.
Someday he will.
Yeah.
So there's I had the occasion to have some lasagna prepared by a restaurant just recently, and it was curbside pickup. So lasagna travels well, it reheats well. So that was actually a pretty good meal, and wasn't my lasagna, but it was pretty good. And it made me wonder. What people like. Some people like, the more traditional lasagna with just the meat, the bolognese
Right.
style. Some
Right.
people just, like it with the ricotta cheese. Some people like it with both. I've even seen some people, do hard-boiled eggs. I can tell you that regardless of, which one you put in front of me, I'm going to like it. I think
gonna eat it
they're all
anyway, yeah.
fantastic, right? But, I wanted to talk about preferences. I mean, Chris, you have a preference for any particular kind?
Well, you mentioned bolognese. I mean, who doesn't like a good bolo, right?
Yeah.
But I'd never met a lasagna I didn't like.
Ah, nice.
Yeah.
Good.
I'm the same way. I'll go meat, cheese, bolognese, but my beautiful, lovely, and talented wife, Annette, likes to put veggies in there
Oh,
instead of meat. So
Yeah.
spinach, zucchini,
yeah. I bet you that'd be
mushrooms.
good.
It's really, really good. And it's a little alternative. You're cutting a little meat out.
Right.
It works.
Sounds
I
good.
recommend it.
The other thing that we have, excuse me, these days is we have the pre-cooked noodle, so you can
Yeah.
have to pre-boil the noodle, and it just
That's
makes
true.
It,
Yeah.
takes one laborious step out of the process.
Right.
which
I want
is-
lasagna now this week.
Well, so let's get some, right?
Okay.
So that's Carmen Cooks for this episode.
Thanks, Carm.
Yeah.
How can people reach you again?
Phone number is 233-4119, and Fitz usually puts my email address down at the bottom of the screen, so email is good too. Call or text anytime you like, and we'll get back to you right away if we can't pick up, and look forward to helping people.
That's great.
Yeah.
You do a good, super guy to work with, Carmen. That's why I'm here to do this show with you.
Well, thank you, Kurt.
So, and speaking of a great job again, Fitz here at Rock Vox, if you're even considering doing a podcast, audio, video, this is the place to do it right here.
And then he's doing remotely too, I think.
Yeah, I guess. Talking about that, I saw a post on LinkedIn or something like that. So you can find Rock Vox on all social platforms and reach out to Fitz.
If somebody wanted to subscribe to Carmen Sense, Kurt, how would they do that?
Well, they can go to their favorite platform
Yeah.
and find it that way and subscribe. That's what I was about to say.
Oh, I sort of cut you off.
But yeah, well, please subscribe to the podcast and rate
Well,
us on your favorite
You're
platform.
usually the mic hog. Today I'm being the mic
You
hog.
are. You are. All right, we're going to wrap this up. And I'm Kurt Boomer Schenk. You can check me out at rightcreative.net. And this is the Carmen Sense Realty Show.
A common sense approach to real estate.
Thanks for watching and listening, and we'll see you again.
Thanks.